All right, what's going on, TI family? I'm finna read some more of this book, Traps to Avoid, for targeted individuals. So it says, the most difficult problem for the average person is to avoid the traps and obvious moves one makes when first indoctrinated into the program. Unfortunately, this war game has 60 years of study of how the target will react and what counter moves and counterintelligence can be done to the target. It is a game of damn if you do and damned if you don't. This book hopes to demonstrate the trade-offs of decisions the target needs to make and to help the TI understand the potential consequences of those decisions. Here's a quick list and common traps a TI often falls for. 1. Avoid the addiction of drama and gossip on internet support groups. Website information is good, but TIs rarely get along or can organize themselves in numbers great enough to get mainstream media attention. Facts. 2. Do not live with other TIs except under rare conditions. The stresses caused by everything and the induced paranoia and destabilization of emotions always ends in dysfunction and accusations in the group. Encourage new friendships by not talking about your situation too much, but also avoid isolation. Don't lose your finances by moving or spreading too much on technical research for passive or active shielding unless you are an expert. Typical Faraday cages do not work like those built with chicken wire. Other types have had some success with some TIs. Stress relievers are very important, such as hypnosis, sleeping with music, positive affirmations. Surround yourself while emotionally sensitive with positive people. Some TIs can be a positive influence, but others will turn on you. Don't assume because you have a common goal that people can act respectfully. TIs with more emotional development will be a better support group. Choose wisely. Another point, be honest with shrinks. Why? Use only private shrinks and not public ones. Even though the government under the American Patriot Act can grab your records, at least some government agencies can't. Later in this book, you will understand your choices. Read on. Another point, do not believe the lies of the handlers of who they are and what they will do in the negotiation phase to release you from this program. Another point, use sanity checks, 24-hour loop security cameras and audio meters in cars and home, video of compasses of magnetic field readings and voltmeter readings on body, video of oscilloscope readings. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Oscilloscope readings on body and spectrum analyzers. Okay, another point. Never commit an act of violence against yourself or others unless you are in a revolution or at war. Another point. There is no way as of yet to show that your private thoughts are communicated by other people unless you can recruit some of the world's best scientists and have millions of dollars to spend. While this is very disturbing, proof cannot be gathered in this way for the typical TI. It is a personal experience that only those in the program will experience and know to be true. TIs think their experiences are personal and find the reason why they are targeted and who they are and who the TI needs to understand that this is part of the game they play with you. This is part of the game they play with you. Wow. Okay. Frequently asked questions. The following questions are typically asked from TIs. The answers to many of these questions are still unclear, but for a quick understanding of the options a TI has to understand the consequences of their decisions. This format and summary provides a concise foundation for new people brought into the program. What is a TI? A TI is a targeted individual. A TI is an abbreviation for targeted individual. A TI will experience defamation of character in their community, harassment, electronic torture, directed energy attacks, break-ins, organized stalking, gaslighting are a combination of the previous. There are many reasons a government targets a particular person. If you have ever worked for the government with a security clearance, you will periodically get spied upon and tested to see if you will speak about secrets that you know or if you are still aligned with that country's values. You will be set up, discredited, or killed if the answer is not what they want. The U.S. is the epicenter of the thrust for world domination and absolute control. Many other people are just mind control test victims who provide practice for the armature spies and data points for these newer technologies to control society, economics, and world politics. Why me? Did I do something wrong? This is usually the first question asked by a target for these high-tech projects. There are many answers. In the 1960s, the gifted children who were intelligent and creative were brought into the program. These qualities are probably still used, but in any covert program, the patterns must be hidden from the general public and independent researchers. Counterintelligence must be considered to hide the development and use from U.S. enemies and the progress made in mind control for enhancement or deprecation of the targets. Okay? There seems to be certain sectors and classifications that are outliers in the data that we have collected on the population of targeted individuals. People who have a drug abuse history live alone in an apartment complex. Whistleblowers, enemies of the state, like peace protesters, and so-called descendants become statistical outliers in the study. The government agencies try to make it as diverse as possible throughout the social strata for data collection. Now, TIs, get the shame game and think back to who might have the power to put them on a torture and slow kill list. It is a distraction of the truth. Do serial killers have a pattern? The U.S. government is like a serial killer in terms of collecting data on every walk of life to understand the kill capabilities and disablement of the individuals when they use these programs in war and peacetime. Individuals, when they use these programs in war and in peacetime, the shame game is used to extract secrets and blackmail on the target. The world is always at war. The databases are huge, like the Human Genome Project or the Human Mind Project. But this is important for the next generation of cognitive warfare. Some researchers say the intelligence agencies involved in mind control are only looking for unusual minds for their cognitive databases and how to re-educate the target for conformity of thought and as a way to hide their experimentation on the fringe elements of society. Those that are awake. Practical advice. One of the primary tactics of these mind control programs is to lead the TI down a false path of blame of themselves, a particular group or a person leading them to believe that group or person is behind their misery and harassment. Don't jump to conclusion right away. Remember, voices can be transformed and mimicked and thereby false correlations created. And I'm going to stop right there, family. Peace.